What's going down? Thor's Thoughts. Thor and Brian. Rick and Morty, Season 3, Episode 10. The season finale already. I can't believe it. The Rickchurian Mortydate. I'm not sure.
That was pretty close, I'm sure.
Let's go with it. Well, let's unpack this. Season finale for Rick and Morty, Season 3. It was all about kind of tying up a lot of things that happened in the first episode of the season.
Right.
And Rick and the president going toe-to-toe. It was badass. So let's unpack it. So it starts off with Rick and Morty are chilling at home, and Morty's playing Minecraft, right? And Rick's ripping on him about playing Minecraft. So then they get a call from the president. The president needs them, so they go to the White House, which is funny because they fly in on the helicopter, knock on the door, and then they portal there.
Yeah.
And it's like, why did we even fly out here? He's like, what do you say? Like, I just work here too, or something like that. That was good stuff. So they get there, and there's some alien loose in the Kennedy sex tunnels. So they need to go down and kill it. So they go down, and they're like tracking the alien, and they're both just bored with it. So they just pretty much like, screw it, and they dip out. So they portal off and go play Minecraft. So after kind of ripping on the president a little bit, they end up... well, obviously they're on surveillance because everything's surveilled inside the White House, even in the Kennedy sex tunnels. So they tell the president what they did, and then they have a surveillance satellite watching them play Minecraft and talking trash inside their house. So the president calls them and like tries to play it all cool, but then goes off and's like, I'm watching you guys. So Rick and Morty blow off America. And that's kind of how like the episode starts. So then why all this was going on last week, some genius said that Beth was a clone at the end of the episode, and because she didn't eat the pizza. And this week, a lot of the episode revolved around, is Beth that clone or not? Because during that beginning part, Beth, how does she have that realization where she thinks she might be the clone?
She was talking to, or she was out with Summer, and they were picking out clothes.
Oh,
and then she let
it. And she was acting different. Yep. And she was acting weird, and she was like all happy and like free.
And then she thought she was a clone.
So she called Rick, and she was like, am I a clone? He's like, no, you're not a clone. And, of course, that's what Rick would say if she was a clone, because now he needs a wiper and eraser. So she kind of goes off the deep end. So Rick and Morty end up going to, there's this tiny civilization out in the, like, was it in Brazil or down in South America?
Yeah.
And they go to make first contact, but the president flies in with his own portal, except a bunch of troops have to like come in, set it up, and then dude comes up with a lighter and sparks it. And then the portal opens and they like walk through, and then they go to shrink down and they got pills, and the shrinking's really slow and the clothes don't fit, and they're like ripping on them. It was that 1970s shrinking technology or something. It was pretty good stuff. It was a very solid episode. So then what happened after that? Oh, Rick's afraid of pirates.
Yeah.
Then they had the pirates come out, and he's like, no, that was for real.
Yeah, because he made up like the...
Ricktonium? Or
Ricktonium is his weakness.
Sanchezium or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
So it was funny because he's like, don't believe everything you read on Wikipedia. But that was real, so they dipped out using the portal, and then they were just chilling in the White House, right, in the Oval Office.
Well, first, they beat the president to those tiny people and like brokered a peace.
That's right.
And then... when Beth called him, he was smoking a, God, what was it? Like a perspective, some perspective thing out of a laser hookah or something.
Oh,
is what it was.
Yeah. For the, was it?
With it
two
was
Middle Eastern countries.
Well,
that have
I think
been
it
in
was
war forever.
Israel and somebody else.
Palestine.
I think so.
Something. We're shooting at whatever. But yeah, so then he broke a peace between them, and then the president's all pissed, like, it was Rick, damn it. And that's when they were in the Oval Office. One guy was like,
my money's on Putin.
So then they get back to the Oval Office because they can't find him anywhere, and they're just sitting in the Oval Office, like playing Minecraft on the laptop.
Yeah.
So then this epic battle starts between, because it all kind of started with, there was one point where Rick pretty much tells the president, like, don't try to arrest me. Like, this, it won't go well for you. Like, don't mess with me. Like, you don't know what I'm capable of. So then when they meet in the Oval Office, the president tries him, and obviously it does not go well because Rick kills a ton of people. Some dude walks up and he's like, if you even touch me, and he touches him and just dies.
He's like, you have the right to refuse, son. If you touch me, you're dead.
Yep. And they say, why didn't you just stun him? He's like, everybody wants to be
People
stunned.
are asking to be stunned. Nobody wants
No
to
one
be
wants
dead.
to die. So then this has an epic battle where they're fighting through the tunnels below the White House. And in the background, you see like the moon landing and all sorts of conspiracy theorist stuff.
There was what he mentioned, like the cocaine lounge in the Hook or something.
Yep.
And when we saw those while we were down there,
wasn't it the Truman Cocaine Lounge or something like that?
I don't know.
All I can remember is the Kennedy sex tunnels and the Lincoln Slave Coliseum.
Yeah.
Because he didn't free all of them. So they're fighting through there, and then. While that's happening, Beth goes to Jerry's house, and Jerry's watching a video of like how to do sign flipping.
Yeah,
like how to sign twirl. Oh, that was classic. So then they have a rekindling moment about their youth, and they end up kissing and like getting back together. So then when they finally finish the battle, because the battle between Rick and the president really revolved around a selfie with Morty.
Yeah.
Morty was really hellbent on this selfie throughout the whole episode, which is pretty funny. But by the end, he didn't even want it. So they get out. Rick won, and he's like, take the selfie, calls for Morty. Morty's gone. Morty's with Jerry, Beth, and Summer in this cabin, and they're hiding from Rick because now they want to be a family, and Beth thinks she's a clone, and Rick's going to kill the clone, but they'll never find him because they stole his portal gun. So long story longer, he ends up borrowing the president's portal with the lighter, and then shows up there, and he has a AK-47, or he's got some big machine gun.
It's probably a laser or something. But
Whatever,
yeah.
he's got a gun, and he's there to kill kill Jerry.
Is what he
says.
says.
He's going to kill Jerry, but then he ends up killing nobody. So, and you think that was weird, and that's...
I think that's... Because we're going to obviously ask, but I think that's the point where I was like, yeah, she's a clone. Because she gives him a big heartfelt speech about, like, you know, you can just go to another universe... And, like, we want to be a family and stick together or whatever. And he's like, I brought the gun to kill Jerry. But he doesn't even say anything about why he's not going to kill Jerry. He just drops the gun, which wouldn't make any sense because he would know they would all be there with Jerry and wouldn't want him to kill Jerry. So there was nothing in that plea other than we want to be a family that would... and he already knew that was kind of the case, so it wasn't like anything happened there that he'd be like, okay, I'm not gonna kill Jerry, you know?
Right.
So,
and he said Jerry's like a parasite and like sucks everybody into his
Right.
web of, you know, despair and shit.
Right, but it would also make more sense as far as the new clone Beth would get sucked in, and that's why he's so mad and why he's like hell-bent on, like, he has to destroy the clone,
Right.
only because, not because she became self-aware, but because she...
But if he if he killed the clone, then it would really cause him more problems. So by just dropping the gun and kind of like going back to everything's fine, and it leaves the story wide open. So
Right.
he ends up saying like, well, how am I going to stay here? I pissed off the president. So that he portals to the president as fly fishing Rick and says that the Ricks switch universes sometime and he's the new Rick of the universe and
Right.
he's fly fishing Rick and he ever needs his help, give him a holler. And then he portals back to the family. He's like, here's your stupid hat bag, Jerry. And then he's just kind of standing there, and they're all standing around eating, and they're making some really weird jokes about her being a clone and Rick not saying anything, and Rick's just kind of standing there. And I've thought the whole time she was the clone, and I think this leaves it wide open for the beginning. Like I was telling you on the way out just a second ago, if Beth comes back, episode 1 of season 4, they end up not killing the clone Beth, and then clone Beth and Jerry end up moving out. I could see that, like, there's some fruit on that tree.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, leave it wide open like that. So, I don't know. What do you give a grade for tonight's episode?
I think it was pretty solid. I don't know if I'd say it's as good as, like, the Atlantis one. I'd say it's probably better than the ABCs of Beth, though.
It kind of tied up a lot of stuff from the ABCs of Beth.
Right.
And, like, ABC's Beth kind of led into
It's
this.
almost like they were two-parter.
So, give me a grade.
I don't remember what I rated ABC Beth, but I'm going to give this a B+.
I think we gave it a B. That's what we gave ABC's of Beth. Was B+.
B+.
B+. Yeah, I'm gonna go solid B for a season finale. It was good, not great. There's definitely been some much stronger episodes of the season.
Yeah.
The Citadel episode was one of the strongest of the season by far. Pickle Rick was super strong.
Well, honestly, my favorite part
there
is
were a lot of great
the president
episodes.
stuff was really, really funny.
Yeah, it
And
was.
the tying up of ABC's of Beth was probably the weakest
and the
side.
divorce and stuff like that. Because we kind of ended up, like she said, like we literally started where we were at in season 1.
Right.
Now it's just going to be a little bit more consistent or something like that. It was very weird how they kind of streamlined. It was, yeah, season 1, but streamlined. It was very odd how they wrapped it up. And then the final part was
Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Mr. Poopy Butthole with his family. He had a baby. He wasn't in this season because he got married, had a kid. They'll be back in a very, very, very long time.
So long that he's going to have a big Santa Claus beard.
And maybe grandchildren. So I'm going to... Did I say what grade I was going to give it?
B. You said solid B.
Yeah, I said solid B. So go ahead, leave your grade down below in the comments. Tell us what you thought of the finale. And tell us, do you think Beth is the clone or not the clone? And make your argument. I say clone, which I've been saying since she didn't eat the
but
pizza
we're
on the last
convincible.
episode.
We're not sticks in the sand.
That makes one of us. I'm Thor. That's Brian. Very, very, very special announcement coming up October 9th. We got something we got a treat for you guys. October 9th, special announcement we've been teasing coming October 9th. That's next Monday. Make sure you check out for us. It's going to be special. It's going to be different. Episode 95 coming, Wrestling in the Basement. Always check it out on the channel. Baseboy Banner, the main show. I'm Thor. That's Brian. Till the next video. Deuces.